Hello, I'm Angell Foster'd.
And I'm Montez Mickles.
And together we welcome you to the Foster'd Podcast. Okay, so we just had Thanksgiving this past week. Yeah. I drove up to be with your family.
Yes.
My goal was to leave on Wednesday, but then my mom called me on Tuesday to say that Wednesday is apparently like the busiest day to drive. So I was like,
even though you were going to try
to
get there before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my mom was like, she goes back and forth. Like as soon as I was like, I'm not coming for Thanksgiving, that's when she was like,
where you at?
Where you at? Like we are, I like, it did make me feel bad though, because I had sent her like some recipes that I wanted. Like I wanted a butternut squash, and then I found this cauliflower recipe.
And she like was going to make that stuff.
She had bought it all and like sent me pictures of the soup, and I just felt really bad. But my goal was also to fast on Thanksgiving, which I did end up doing because it was very hard. And I have like weird shit around food, so I was just like, you know what, I'm not even going to do that. And the reason I was fasting was less for like honoring the Native Americans, and it was more about my weird shit around food. So I was just like, you know, fuck that. Like I'm not going to fast. I'm just going to read Writings for Sweetgrass and honor the Native Americans in my own way. So my mom, she got really upset with me because I didn't come home. But what made her really get upset was that your mom asked me to make the mac and cheese. And so I texted her and I was like, Montez's mom asked me to make the mac and cheese. So I guess they really liked it the last time I made it because this was her recipe.
Yeah.
And she was like, how dare you call me up telling me you're going to make my mac and cheese for somebody else. You're supposed to be here helping me grate this mac and cheese, doing all this stuff, helping me, because she had to work the day before and work the day after.
Yeah.
So fuck capitalism. She did, I guess, need help. But she was also saying like the week before that she wasn't really going to be doing all that. Like, honestly, we weren't really going to be having a Thanksgiving, and that she was going to put all her energy into Christmas, which is more like the holiday I know my mom really cares about. Like Thanksgiving, I don't really care about it. Like it's, I don't know, it feels weird to like really be celebrating it anyway, especially in Stone Mountain where it's like the Trail of Tears. Like it feels like a weird energy to be like celebrating this holiday.
Yeah.
But my mom is really big on like having us all here in the same house, because I've been like in Nashville for 6 years and now I'm back living with her. So it's just been like a whole thing.
Right.
But I think she got over it, hopefully.
Hopefully
I don't have to come home to too much shit. And that she'll be cool with me being
I'm sure she'll be fine. She'll be fine, I think.
But overall, I had a fun week with you and your mom and your family.
Yeah, we did a couple of things. Got to bowl a couple of times this week.
We bowled. The first time, I just do not like competitive games because I know I'm such a sore loser and I'm not good. Like I'm a sore loser, but I'm also somebody that's not good at things. And so I beat myself up so much and I'm like, you're trash. But Montez reminded me what he said.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know exactly what I said, but you're only trash because one, you say you're trash, and two, you haven't practiced. Like, when's the last time you bowled before this week?
I've never really bowled in my life.
Exactly. So you can't just expect to be automatically good at something that you haven't done before. So reminding you of that, I hope helped you.
It did help me. And that's why I was like, okay, I wanted to go. And then Montez was like, I want to go bowling. But he could tell that because of how I was the last time, he was like, should I say anything? Should I even mention bowling right now? But I really did want to go, and I feel like I was much better sport this time. Like again, bowling game. Yeah. I think I bowled a 42, and then like a 30. And what I realized is that drinks do not help. Like I was getting lit off of the drink, and I was like, the pins were like merging together. Like I was basically throwing the ball straight to the gutter.
You did, but also
you also threw it into the gutter.
I threw it into the gutter a couple of times, but. Yeah, you threw it together.
I could barely see. And then it was like it's this place called Brooklyn Bowl here in Nashville. It was like a white band playing. They're a pretty good band, actually. But it was like
Colony House? Are you talking about the last night or the first night?
I'm talking about last night. Colony House. I'm talking about why I bowled so badly my second game. Like I had a 42. My goal was to get at least a 45 in the next game. Yeah. But I got to like 30 something. It wasn't very high. And it was because of the drinks and the loud white band.
This week was nice, even though I had to work a couple of days.
Which sucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to be off every day, because I was off all last week. Kinda. I still had to do some work, but I just wanted Montez to be off.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I wasn't. I did a lot of kind of housework. Rearranged the living room. Yeah. It was all right, but would have much rather not have done that. But it was cool.
You were helping out your mom.
Yeah, I was helping out my mom. Went to the store so many times.
Yeah. Montez came in the clutch with the last minute mac and cheese ingredients.
Oh yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't finish. So I decided to make my mom's mac and cheese, but I didn't have I didn't remember all the steps. She shared a note with me, but I didn't remember all the steps. I was like making the roux and all that stuff. And so she came in clutch and finally helped, but we were missing some things. And so Montez had to go to the store.
Got some half and half and just some cheese.
They were out of the heavy whipping cream. The heavy cream. They were out of so much. So
out
we had
of
to kind
so many things.
Improvise it a little bit.
Yeah. But it ended up working out. The mac and cheese was amazing.
I wasn't super obsessed with it. I think the first time I made it, it was better.
It was good.
It was good. People liked it, but when you know what it's capable of, my mom, I've eaten my mom's mac and cheese so many times, and the first time I made it, it tasted exactly like hers. This time, it was not. I think I was nervous because I had an audience. I was in Montez's mom's kitchen, so I just felt a little bit nervous. But next time, I think I'm gonna just try to make it my own way, my own recipe. Yeah. Because I like a spicy mac. Mm-hmm. But that's why I don't like Thanksgiving, because it's if you do anything deviate a little bit from what people know,
it's a problem.
It's don't be trying nothing new.
Don't be trying to do
nothing
new.
Keep it the OG. So maybe I'll do an OG mac next year and a spicy mac for myself, because I love a spicy mac.
Yeah, I like a spicy mac too. It's really good. With some red peppers, some cayenne, other things to make it spicy. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Who knows? All
right, keep going. I'm sorry I cut you off.
I don't even know. I mean, this week was just that. I mean, work and Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, we went to your dad's side family.
Oh yeah, we did go to my my Aunt Shay's house. Mm-hmm. That was cool. That was fun. Mm-hmm. Got to see my grandmother. My grandmother is in town from Columbus, Georgia.
Oh, you didn't just see her. You got to see her off the edible.
My grandma did have some edibles.
3
edibles.
Prior to us getting there.
Yeah, and they were just kicking in when we got there. So she was lit.
It was interesting meeting her. The first thing, she said something, and I was like, I don't know. And she was like...
She said, do you talk like that?
She was like, is that how you talk? Yeah. And I was like, oh no. This is not a good first impression if that's the first thing out of her mouth.
She's just very vocal. She's very vocal.
Yeah, I feel like...
She's going to say what's on her mind, and, that's what it is.
That's what I get from a lot of people, being born in Atlanta and then, being raised from Disney Channel and things like that. I didn't really get the accent, really. It comes out sometimes, when I'm really around my family, my southernness, but it's still not like my cousins and things like that. It's not as distinct, that true T.I. accent. I don't have it.
You don't got the Zone 6 voice.
I don't got the Zone 6. I got the Disney Channel.
Yeah, you got the Disney Channel.
I got Angell and Montana.
Yeah. But I also pulled up to Lee's show, Organized Visuals, Prayer and Propaganda. It was a dope show. Had some photography on the wall, some graphic design that was pretty cool. And there was a video art piece that was in this corner of the spot that was it was an amalgamation of all these different images and videos, and it was cool. I enjoyed being there. But yeah, that was the week. I was about to say it wasn't super eventful, but I guess it was kind of eventful.
It was a fun week, I think.
Yeah, it was a fun week.
It didn't feel eventful, but when you say all the things that we did just back to back like that, I feel like it was an eventful week.
Yeah. If you hadn't noticed, there's 2 of us on this podcast now, myself and the beautiful Angel here. As we're nearing the end of the year, we wanted to talk about some of the things that have been going on in the past 6 months for us, as well as why the podcast took such a long break. So let's talk about it. The past 6 months, we've been living in 2 different states.
We've been long distance.
Yeah, we've been long distance for the last 6 months, pretty much.
And why would one choose to separate themselves from this space?
I don't know why you choose to do that.
So yes, I was applying to this thing called the DGA training program, which is basically a program to help people who really don't have a lot of film connects and things like that get into the industry. And
become assistant directors.
The application process is 6 months long. We started the application, I think, in January? December.
We had to get in the first application, all the stuff by December 2020, and then it started from there.
Yeah. So I actually made it pretty far. Like everything, I was like,
you literally made it to the end.
I made it to the end. And so it seemed very likely that I was going to get it because I kept advancing in the interview processes. And so our lease for our apartment ended in June.
In Nashville. We were living in Nashville.
And the DGA program was going to start in September. And so I would have had to move. Like I would have had to move to New York pretty immediately once getting it. And
would have had to have no place for like, what, July, August?
Yes.
All of July and August.
It just didn't make sense to renew our lease if I was going to be getting that. And then...
So we were banking on that. We decided to not renew the lease and move back in with our parents.
Yep. And so the idea was that we were just going to be moving back in with our parents for 2 months. If you can't tell right now, I'm not in New York. So I did not get that. And we've still been living in our parents' house for that time. So we've been living in our parents' house since
June.
And it's now November. I don't know if you've ever had to move back into your parents' house at 25. For me, it just felt like I failed, basically. Like I didn't get the thing in the DGA. Meanwhile, though, I did get this cool job working for Jessamine Stanley, who is an entrepreneur, an author, a yoga instructor at her wellness company, and becoming a social media content creator for that. And so that was like my saving grace. And had I not had that, I probably would have fallen into an even deeper depression. I definitely think I fell into a depression, though, because I was away from my boyfriend. I didn't get this thing. And I'm back in my parents' house in my childhood bedroom, trying to figure out where I messed up with my life. But I think it was a blessing in disguise, though, because
for sure.
I don't think I really wanted to get the DGA. It is very hard work. I'm not saying I'm not capable of that hard work. I definitely think I am. But whether I think that's what's best for me, probably not. I don't think I need to be killing myself at a job right now. I think as a Black woman, I've done enough. I don't want to be killing myself for no job.
Yeah.
And on the website, it even says it's like you have to be on call for 24/7. You have to be able to get to set easy, like within moments.
Right.
You're going to be out in the cold. I'm from Georgia. Never been out in no cold. The most cold it ever gets is like 30, maybe 20. We don't get snow. I don't know what it's like in New York. I don't even own a real coat. So I don't think I mentally would have been able to handle that.
Yeah, it would have been a lot.
It would have been a lot. I would have been there for myself for the first month. Montez would have had to quit his job if he was going to come with me. It just felt very like, I don't know. But we risked everything to try to get this thing. But I think we were also like tired of living in Nashville. And so it was a lot of components. But we were really ready to moved to New York. Like we sold our car, we started taking the bus and walking everywhere. And so we were obviously ready, but I think in my heart of hearts, I would have much rather just moved to New York than get the DGA or just moved anywhere.
Yeah, just gone somewhere.
And so, for the past few months, we've been long distance and back in our parents' house. Yeah. For me, that situation looks a lot different from Montez because I have 3 siblings in that house with me who are all doing school from home. So it kind of feels like, and I'm the oldest of 8. And so I've never really had a childhood because I've always been like taking care of kids. Okay, so I do not want to get into my childhood trauma this episode. A lot moving back into my mom's house, and it was hard being away from you.
Yes, and while I didn't have to go home to the same situation, it was also hard for me to, be back at home away from you too.
We dealt with that all the past 6 months.
Yes.
And that also is why
it's pretty much 500 miles apart.
Yeah, 500 miles. No, it's like 299.
It's like 400.
It's like 299.
Is it 299?
It's a whole gas tank. So it's like 299.
So like 300.
It's like 299.
Okay. 300 miles away.
Basically. Like I drive to Nashville now, like it's driving down the street, like it's nothing. But yeah, so because we were dealing with all of that, that is why there was no podcast.
Yes.
Now you'd be maybe asking, okay, well that was June. The podcast stopped in March. Like what happened between March and June? And what happened between there was a little thing I like to call self-doubt.
It happens to the best of us.
It happens to the best of us. I was recording, so if you know the OG, Projecting Smallness, it was just me talking about things that I was doing to build confidence and hoping to inspire you as well.
Yes.
But it wasn't that. It felt very like performative. I don't know. It just felt, I didn't really like it. I didn't fully align with everything I was saying, but I think it wasn't bad. I think I was more in my head about it than anything. But what really messed me up was like I did not like seeing myself on camera and like editing myself. And I think that was like becoming more of a hard thing, like dealing with body image and like low self-esteem, and then hearing what I'm saying, and I'm like, nobody want to hear this shit. Like, I'm not putting this out. And so that's what kind of crippled me from doing it. And it kind of was like this thing, like haunting me, like, when are you gonna, do me again? When are you gonna pick me back up? And that's why we're starting it back up now. And I want Montez to join me because I feel like it feels nicer to have him here. Montez is somebody that I'm truly so grateful to have, because when I told him that I wanted to start back doing the podcast again after so many months, he was not like, damn, like, you really ain't did this shit in forever. No shit talking. He was just like, cool, like, yeah, like, let's do it. Like, and that's how he always is. And that's why I'm so grateful to have you as a partner in this. I'm like even getting emotional talking about it, but I'm also on my period. But it's truly nice to have somebody like that, because when you have such self-doubt, you think that people are thinking all this shit about you. And Montez, even if he is thinking it, I don't know what he's thinking. He never lets it on. He's just like, yeah, let's just do it. And then when I was like, okay, I really wanted to ask him from the beginning, like, will he be my co-host? But I was like, kind of tiptoeing around it. And I was like, okay, well, like, would you do this with me? He's like, yeah. Like,
yeah. I mean, I was already producing the other version anyways, so.
But I wasn't a little bit more hands off.
Yeah.
He was like shooting it, and I was like more so like editing everything and making it more mine, because I was like, trying to make it mine. But I wanted it to be ours. But I was like, is Montez gonna be really into this? Like, he don't really listen to podcasts. He listens to music.
I listen to.
You're starting to listen to podcasts now, but before you weren't really that into them.
Yeah, I would listen to them here and there, but yeah, music was definitely priority.
Yeah. And so I'm just truly grateful that you said yes and decided to do this with me. Because I mean, even filming today, it feels a lot better than when it's just me on the camera. Like having somebody to bounce ideas off. And so much of this that I'm talking about is both of our lives.
Yeah. And
so I feel like who better than to be talking about this stuff with me than you.
Right.
And so that's what I'm really grateful for.
Yeah. I'm grateful to be doing it with you, I want you to, succeed. I want us to succeed. Whatever success is, right? You're not here alone. You're not doing this thing by yourself.
I'm appreciative of that.
Of course.
I do feel like working together, and we can talk about this probably in another episode, but just like working together and also being in a relationship is like really hard, and we don't talk about that enough. And even when we work together, like our freelance business, like all of our arguments were most around work. And I was also a little bit apprehensive to like reintroduce work into our relationship, because I don't want that to be like a thing. But I love working with you so much that it's just like, I can't imagine a relationship and not work with you.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, I love working with you too. And we'll have to define like what work and what relationship, means as we go on. But yeah, it's like anything, growing pains.
What I learned, what made me really start wanting to pick back up on the podcast was I started editing for Jessamine Stanley. And that has been a masterclass in and of itself, because I get to see the stuff that doesn't go on social media, because I'm editing that stuff out. And I see how self-doubt comes up for her, and she'll be like, this shit is bullshit. Like, I don't want to do this. And then push past that and still do the thing. And I always thought that if you have those feelings of like, this is bullshit, like that is the feeling. And that's what lets you know, like, you're not supposed to do the thing.
No.
And so witnessing.
You can lie to yourself. And that's, that's exactly what your mind is going to do.
Resistance.
It's resistance.
What's that nigga name?
Stephen Pressfield.
As Stephen Pressfield puts it, it's the resistance.
The resistance.
And witnessing Jessamine like push past that, and her partner Ash encouraging her, it just has been like what I've been holding on to. And so like when I have those feelings of like, and I really haven't even had them recently, which is why I'm like, okay, while the shit is not, while I'm not having self-doubt that much right now, like, let's get back on to doing shit. And then that way, when it comes, I already kind of have the habit of doing things again. So that's what I'm holding on to right now, the confidence I have right now. Seeing her really was an inspiration for me. And that is when I was like, okay, self-doubt is just part of the process. And if you know that, it just feels so freeing. And maybe that's why I've had as much self-doubt, seeing how people move past it, and then like reading other people, and like you can see it in different people that you love, like how they deal with their self-doubt. Like everybody has it. It's just what do you do with it?
Yeah, it's like you either can accept it and learn how to live with it and deal with it, or you don't accept it and you spend your life running away from it and not cowering, but being fearful of it. Like either way, it's still there. You either keep doing the thing or you don't.
And I'm deciding to keep doing the thing for now. I just think it's funny because the last episode that we stopped at, episode 2, was about rest. And I feel like that's what I just did, was just take
a 9-month rest.
A 9-month rest and really get intentional about what I want to make, what kind of art I want to put out into the world.
Yeah.
Because I consider this podcast art. Like, I feel like this is a documentation of our lives. And I mean, this is how stories have been passed down in our lineage for forever, you know, through storytelling and just speaking. And that's what I love. And so I'm just excited to get better at it and keep working with you and see where this goes. Like, I know it's going to change so much and shift, and we're going to shift and change. And I'm just excited to see.
We're not even the same. We've been together almost 4 years, which is crazy, but we're not the same people that we were when we first met, you know, and that's beautiful in and of itself.
We should do a podcast on that too, the growth of our relationship.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, I think that is all we have for you guys today. This was pretty long, which is nice because I love long podcasts. I don't know if anyone else does. Montez doesn't.
It depends on I do enjoy a good long podcast. It's just when I'm working, like, I'll try to listen to a podcast and I can't do that. Like, I have to be intentional about listening to a podcast if I'm going to listen to it. I can't just have it in the background and actually pick up on the things that are being said to like soak up whatever information there is. When you watch Netflix, you don't have any other distractions. Most people are watching Netflix and they're watching the show. They're watching the show.
Lies. Netflix and chill is a thing for a reason. Okay,
Netflix and chill is a reason. I mean, it's a thing, but forget Netflix. Your favorite show. You're watching your show. That's me with podcasts. I have to listen to it and not be doing anything else. So who has that time to listen to a 2-hour podcast and do nothing else? You know, I make that time on specific, you know, podcasts. Like there was this Tim Ferriss podcast about like NFTs and all that good stuff and metaverse and blah 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 nerd shit.
You have to minimize it. I know you're into that. Let me say nerd shit.
But like that, I was like trying to be intentional about like listening to that and not doing anything else. So I like podcasts
so
where I'm
podcast more like a lecture.
Yes, because I can't just like listen to it in the background. I'm not gonna get any of it. It's gonna be like filled space for nothing. You know, it's like I'm not gonna be able to call back to anything. I'm not gonna remember anything, you know, if I'm not like actually listening to it.
That's why I love listening to a podcast like on a walk or like working out. Like I can't listen to just a podcast. It has to be playing on the background of something like walk or exercise. I love exercising the podcast. I know people might think that's weird, but I love it.
No, I like doing that too, like walking, like you said, being in the gym, or like cleaning up. Yeah, anything that doesn't require your brain power for real to like do it.
Yeah, driving, stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's times to be intentional about listening to podcasts in the way that I like to listen to them. Yeah. But yeah, I do like podcasts.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's all we got for you guys.
That's
this episode. Please like, comment, review, all the things you're supposed to do to support the podcast you love. Any validation really helps make my self-doubt less crippling, so I really appreciate it. Yeah, you got anything?
No, that's it. Like, subscribe, follow us, all the things,
you know. All the things.
And be looking out for the next one.
Yep, we want to do one Wednesdays. So Wednesdays. That is the day we've chosen. That is the day they will come to you.
Yes. So
here you go. Here's to getting back on track with the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Peace.